Hello there and welcome to the introduction of another Reporting Depp v. Heard podcast. The time is 3 minutes to 7, which means that I've been here 14 hours now, inside and outside court all day. It's day 2 of the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, and the revelations, or the allegations rather than revelations, because they weren't evidence, that we heard today, still I'm finding quite difficult to process. I'm walking down outside the court building, which you can see over there, because I want to I still can't do this very well. There we go. I'm just walking down because I want to show you where we queue up in the morning to get the wristbands to get into court. And just tell you a little bit about what we heard today. It was opening statements from, first of all, Johnny Depp's attorneys, and then 2 attorneys on behalf of Amber Heard gave their view of what would happen over the course of the trial. Now, don't forget, Johnny Depp is suing Amber Heard over an article that she wrote in December 2018 for the Washington Post, which she didn't name him, and she alluded to the term sexual violence, but never said that she'd been a victim of it. It was actually, when you look at it back at it, a very cleverly worded piece. The idea that was put forward by Benjamin Chew, Johnny Depp's lead attorney, that this article was not only a lie, it was actually a career move on Amber Heard's behalf, that she did it as one of her roles, or her role in Aquaman was going to be announced, and it was essentially a way of aligning herself with the Me Too movement. And he basically said that this was just a lie. He said that everything that she had said about being a victim of domestic violence was a lie. And then he said she was going to claim to be a victim of sexual abuse at the hands of Johnny Depp, and this too was a lie. Now, this was really surprising. Sorry, I'm just so tired, I'm rubbing my eyes. Whilst I'm rambling, I'll just show you that this is where we queue up. So in the morning, when it's dark and everyone doesn't really want to be there, but you kind of have to, this is where we all start queuing for the wristbands to get into court. Here's mine today, and this is the entrance they let. Oh, you can't see it because there's a brick wall. I know this is terribly interesting. Here's a man walking down stairs backwards. There you go, and that's the entrance that we go in at. So where was I? Yeah, so this allegation of sexual assault was quite extraordinary. I ducked out of court to do a quick broadcast for my sponsor, 5 News, and then came back in to hear Elaine Brederhoff, the lead attorney for Amber Heard, explaining in very graphic terms exactly the nature of one episode of sexual assault, and then she said there were multiple episodes of sexual assault. So this escalates things in such a crazy way. In the trial in the UK in 2020, which I covered in some depth, the issue of sexual abuse, although it was raised obliquely by one of the witnesses, and I go on to explain that in my newsletter exactly how, although it was raised obliquely, there was never any allegation directly made against Johnny Depp of sexual abuse. Today, on day 2 of Depp v. Heard here at Fairfax County Court in Virginia, a very, very serious and explicit one was made. And obviously, we're going to hear the grim details spell out over the course of the next 6 weeks, and it was depressing enough being in the courtroom to hear them today. But the implications for both parties and what it says about everything around them was what really struck home with me. As I said in the newsletter, this is someone in that court is lying, but this lie is bigger than them. It's bigger than, I mean, they're lying to their families, they're lying to their lawyers, they're lying to court. Lying to court is a serious thing. and they're lying possibly even to themselves, and it's going to have implications when the jury finally makes their decision about who is lying. And so I guess it's just brought home to me how big all this is, and whilst it's fun, don't get me wrong, it's really enjoyable being out here and the experience of covering this trial and meeting so many people who are so invested in this case in so many different ways is a wonderful experience, and I'm obviously grateful to all the people who put their hands in their pockets to help fund my journalism. There's also something profoundly serious at the heart of all this, and today kind of brought home the scale and level of it, and I'm still trying to process the implications. To help me process the implications, I was very lucky to grab Yvonne De Boer. Now, anyone who's been around the court for the last couple of days will know Yvonne. She's a very loud personality. She is I don't want to say die-hard Johnny Depp fan because that's a cliche, but she's kind of more than that. She is a very passionate advocate of Johnny Depp, and as she was coming out of court, I asked her if she'd sit down on a park bench at the square just behind the courthouse with me and talk through the evidence and everything that we both heard in court today. In the second of, I don't know what to call them, the park bench interviews of this series of YouTube updates and podcasts was conducted with Yvonne De Boer, and I'm very grateful to her for her time. So I hope you find it interesting what we talk about, and I might pop back and see you at the end just to say goodbye. Today's events were explosive, I would say.
Very explosive, very drawn out and too long.
Yeah.
Same thing being said over and over and over by her team.
But something new came out, at least in terms of public domain, the allegation that Johnny Depp sexually abused Amber Heard, and that was made in a very, very graphic way by Amber Heard's lead attorney. What did you make of that?
Number one, I don't believe it. I don't believe it one way. And being sexually assaulted with a wine bottle or a bottle.
A liquor bottle,
yeah,
I think is what it was.
No, I don't believe it at all. I think it's just another way to make the whole thing like a big circus, come up with something new that people maybe didn't know. But it shocked me what was said, but I don't believe it.
I mean, I honestly couldn't believe my ears in court. I'd listened to the opening submissions from Johnny Depp's legal team, and their point was simply that Amber Heard was a scheming liar, that she'd made all this up.
Exactly.
Now, we've heard that before, but it was said very, very explicitly in this case. And then you had Elaine Brederhoff come in and say, not just that Amber Heard was a victim of domestic violence,
correct,
but that she was a victim of sexual abuse.
Correct.
This is a whole new level of allegation against Johnny Depp. Now, you're a big Johnny Depp fan.
Yes, only 36 years.
But how do you feel when you hear something like that? Because this is going to go around the world.
It hurts me. It hurts me very badly because it's already bad enough. She's got him painted as a woman beater, as an alcoholic, as a drug addicted fool. You know, it's already very, very bad. She's ruined his entire life, his career, his name. Everything has been ruined. Now with this, I can't even imagine what he's going to go through with this.
But what if she's telling the truth?
I know she's not.
Why do you know she's not?
I've had the fortune to meet him many times over the years, and I know the real Johnny Depp. I know who he is. I know how gentle he is, how sweet, how nice. He's not that person. He's not. And let's face it, he's Johnny Depp. He doesn't have to do that to get any woman. He doesn't have to.
But what is going on here is either Johnny Depp is a monster and should be criminally investigated for serious sexual assault, or Amber Heard is a pathological liar. I mean, there's no black and white anymore, is there?
No, but I believe Amber Heard is a pathological liar, and she's also crazy. Crazy. She's a narcissist. She's making it all about her. She's the victim, and she's the one that called him the monster, by the way. He never called himself the monster.
But you could go, well, I think he did in some texts, didn't he, when he was...
And how do we know those are his texts?
Well, okay.
Anybody could grab your phone and write...
Okay. I appreciate it. I think they both used the term from what I remember of the evidence.
Yeah, no, he never, and if he did, it was in passing or maybe one time, but he never, he always said...
Okay, let's push that to the side for one moment. Because it's the thing I keep coming back to mentally is the UK judgment, okay? It was an extraordinary case to witness when I was there 2 years ago, and I heard the evidence from both sides, but the only person who saw all the evidence in its entirety was a renowned expert in this area, and he decided that Johnny Depp was guilty of domestic violence against Amber Heard. Now, the stakes have been raised again
Yes.
with this.
Yes.
Is there not something at the back of your mind going, what if he is a monster?
I know he's not. Just because you don't work out with someone, or you've got problems with someone and you're divorced, or you're jealous, or you hate him for some reason, maybe he put his sock on wrong, whatever it is, you could say anything to destroy. She just wants to destroy him, utterly destroy him. She knows.
And this was the case of the Johnny Depp's legal team, that she's been telling lies upon lies upon lies, and she's dug herself into this hole.
Mm-hmm.
And her only route to success is fronting it out.
Exactly. That's what I believe. She can't do anything else to him because he's world known as a good person, helping people, going to the hospitals with people that have cancer, etc. 40 different charities he works with. He's always helping people. He's wonderful to the fans. He's wonderful with his family. His children are beautiful. She has nothing else to do. She can't get him any other way because his truth is already out. It's been out.
There's also the other problem that Benjamin Chew brought up,
Mm-hmm.
which was that it doesn't really matter whether he's innocent or not now. He will go to his grave knowing that some people will consider him to be an abuser of a woman. So where does that leave everyone? We're 2 days into this trial. We're going to hear more and more of this.
It's going to get worse.
In pretty grim graphic
it
detail.
is.
They say in Italy, if you want revenge, dig 2 graves. Now, I'm not saying Johnny's motivated by revenge, but he brought this action. And he brought the action in the UK.
Yes, because he's trying to clear his name, clear his credibility, have people know, no, I'm indeed not a woman beater, and get his work back. He needs to work. He has to live. He has to make a living. And his art is movies. He's got his music, which is fantastic, but he wants to do film. He doesn't care about Hollywood anymore. He's doing things in Europe with his own company. But for him now, it's the defamation case. They made him look bad. They made him look like a monster. They took his name and dragged it through the mud. This is what he's after. He's not after revenge.
But by bringing this action, you've got the result that we had in court of him now being accused of sexual abuse.
Exactly. But you're dealing with a sick mind. You're dealing with a woman that wants to get back at him. For whatever reason it is, she wants to get back at him. And there's no better way now to make it worse.
It's troubling though, isn't it?
It's extremely. I burst into tears. And if I talk about it too long, it's very hurtful for me because I love him. I have a deep love for him.
That.
And I have a respect for the man. And I'm proud of him. Who could go through this? His strength. Any other person may have done away with themselves years ago, even if they're innocent. It's too much. You can't walk down the street.
But forgive me because
Yeah.
I've covered this as neutrally and as objectively as I can. When I hear what I hear in court, and obviously we haven't seen the evidence yet, we haven't heard the evidence yet, there is that thing at the back of my mind. I go back to the judgment in the UK. What if she's telling the truth? And the whole Hollywood machine and all his friends and all his money has protected him from the truth coming out until she blew the whistle.
Well, that's understandable. As a human being, you want, and you particularly, you're impartial, so you hear both sides. And as a man, you wonder, women will wonder, is that true? I don't believe it. I just don't. And it's not because I'm a fan of his or a friend of his or I love him. I don't. He's not that person. Even in his darkest hour, if he's mad or whatever, he's going to go lock himself in a room somewhere. He's not going to bother anybody. He's not going to do that.
But you know as well as I do that statistically in domestic violence, men are 90-95% of the time the aggressors.
It's true. It's
so
true.
statistically,
But
it
again,
just
if you
troubles
know
me.
him, it troubles us, of course, it's terrible. But if you know him, as his sister stated, and I know him this way, he doesn't like confrontation. He walks away, he goes to his room, he goes to his office, he leaves the house. If you ever get to hear the tapes that they made for their marriage counselor, if you haven't heard them on YouTube and they put them in here, you're going to hear her admittingly say, "You never stay and fight Johnny. You always run away, you coward. And I wasn't hitting you, I was punching you. And he said immediately, no, you were hitting me with your fist.
I must say, Yvonne, your good humour throughout the 2 days that I've known you have been a tonic, because court cases like this get relentlessly grim, and this one has already
This
started.
has been grim for 6 years.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but it's just sad, isn't it?
It's beyond sad. It's beyond sad.
Well, there you go. That was Yvonne De Boer, who very kindly gave me Park Bench interview number 2. I think I'm going to try and make them the thing across the course of these YouTube updates and podcasts. Thank you very much for watching this far. I'm very grateful. If you want to like and subscribe, I would be equally grateful. If you want to join the newsletter community, then just go to reportingdeppvheheard.net/newsletter. I will put the link in the information box below, and you can catch up with the written thoughts that I have about the trial that I'm going to be covering over the next couple of months. I do appreciate your company. I do appreciate your comments. Thank you very much, and until next time, goodbye.